Hey Broom Riders, welcome back to the Purple Broom Apothecary Presents. I'm your hostess Natalie, and today I'm doing another installment of the Herb Cabinet series. Today I want to talk about Valerian Root. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with this delightful herb, I'm going to give you a little bit of information today about how it's used both medicinally and magically. I am going to give you a few of the folk names as given by Scott Cunningham, which I know there's a lot of, but it's cross-referenced with Llewellyn's Big Book of Correspondences, about yay thick. There were no less than 36 references in Llewellyn's for Valerian Root. And I also cross-referenced with the Druids' herbals and with Culpeper's herbal as well. So there's some good background information there. Now, for those of you who've seen a few of the other Herb Cabinet series videos, you know that Scott Cunningham drew away from classifying herbs as female or male. He classifies them as hot or cold, cold being female. Not sure how I feel about that. But according to Culpeper, it was considered a feminine type of herb, and that goes in line with what Scott Cunningham reports as being cold. It is strangely, however, equated with Mercury. Go figure. So that's the planetary correspondence. Now, Valerian root. I'm going to show you what this lovely plant looks like. When it comes to valerian, we do use the root and the herb itself. I'm going to try to take some of it out of the jar so you can see. Okay, now what I want to say about valerian root, first off, okay, that's just a little bit of it. It is the powdered herb itself that is used. And for those of you that are not familiar with this lovely, lovely gem, I am just going to tell you that it is overwhelming and smells like sweaty gym socks. That's right, folks. I said sweaty gym socks. That is why I think that Scott Cunningham makes a notation that the powdered herb is sometimes used in spells as a grave dust because it smells like freaking death. Actually, death smells sweeter. This smells more like I said, a teenage boy's room full of sweaty gym socks. Oh, it's powerful, very potent. You think patchouli's strong? Valerian goes right up against it. Now, that being said, valerian is very, very beneficial in a lot of ways. I'm going to talk a little bit about the medicinal uses of valerian root, and I am going to put in my disclaimer right here that this information is for your information. It is so that you understand the roots of this root and how it was used and how it is still used in some cases by holistic healers and so on and so forth. This is not meant to be a substitute for any licensed medical physician's recommendations or anything like that. I do not recommend that you start taking valerian root if you are already taking other types of medications. You do need to talk with your physician and your doctor and or your pharmacist before you start including any herbal remedies in, especially if you are on any kind of regular medications. That being said, valerian root is known for its calming properties, and in terms of magical uses, it's used very similarly. Valerian root is often used in the crushed powdered form, drunk in a tea or in an infusion to, I can imagine drinking that in a tea, folks. I use it in sachets, but it is used in its powdered form to promote sleep and to help with calming and relief of anxiety, much in the same way that St. John's wort is used. As with St. John's wort, if you are taking any kind of medication, you need to talk with your doctor before you start taking valerian root or drinking valerian root or anything like that. If you are going to be using valerian root in its form for calming and to promote sleep, I would strongly recommend that you do not operate any kind of heavy equipment, machinery. Don't drive until you know how it's going to affect you, etc., etc., etc. Now, some of the folk names for valerian root are All Heal, Amantia or Amantia, Bloody Butcher, Capone's Trailer, Cat's Vervain, Cat's Valerian, English Valerian, and St. George's Herb. There are several others. And again, it's used primarily to promote calm, love, sleep, and purification. Some of the magical uses for it is sometimes carried as part of a talisman or amulet to promote calm and to relieve anxiety. Sometimes it is put under the pillow to promote sleep. It's used in a tea, as I mentioned. It's sometimes mixed with other things and burnt as an incense to help promote calm and healing. It is also something that is used in sachets, as I mentioned. A few of the things that Scott Cunningham mentioned was that it was often used to protect homes from lightning, kept by the door. I have heard of this herb being kept in areas where couples sleep so that they are peaceful when together. It is also used to guard against any kind of difficulties with communication. If a couple is fighting, you'll want to have some valerian root nearby to help calm whatever is going on and to relieve that stress. And this kind of goes in line with my Witches of the Moon video for this upcoming week. If you're looking to pair it with some crystals, watch my video on Monday and you'll get some hints on that. But valerian root being associated with communication, harmony, happiness, like I said, calm and peacefulness. It is often used also as an herb to help you heal in terms of if you are suffering from a broken heart, you might want to infuse some valerian root into your bath sachet, or can't imagine how that would smell on you, but that is one of the recommended uses. I like to use it in sachets with other herbs to help promote love and communication and calm in terms of a relationship. So I will blend it with rose buds and rose petals. I will blend it with passion flower. I also mix it sometimes with mugwort when I'm wanting calming and purification of an area, consecration. I will often burn it as part of an incense on my altar. No, it does not smell good. It smells like sweaty gym socks. But if you mix it with other things, it's not so horribly bad. But that is definitely the very common things. It is related to, I'm trying to think, I feel like I'm forgetting something. I'm looking at my notes here. Pretty much that's it. I mean, any of the references that you find, there were 36 references to valerian root in the Llewellyn's Big Book of Correspondences, but a lot of it just related to harmony, happiness, calming, peace, communication, love, that sort of thing. So get yourself some valerian and some nose clips because you're gonna need it. This stuff is super powerful. I'm telling you, it really is. And yeah, I'm just not even gonna open it again. Just trust me. Trust me, you're going to want to plug your nose when you're using this. But it is very powerful and works very, 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 very well. I'm going to be honest and tell you that I have used the crushed herb. Like I will mash it into a fine powder. And I have used it as part of a magical ink when I was wanting to absolutely eliminate some fighting that was going on between myself and my middle child, who is my problem child. She's very sweet, but very headstrong. Don't know where she gets that from. And we were having some serious arguments, and so I kind of used it in some ink. So it worked for me, but I also sprinkled some by her apartment door, which seemed to help as well. So anyhow, go out, find it. If you have a metaphysical shop nearby, they will probably carry it. That's where I got my supply, my stash. You can find it at some of the Mexican shops too, like La Azteca, if you're familiar with that. I don't know if La Michoacana has it or not, but La Azteca is my go-to for a lot of like little herbs when I want small pouches of herbs. They carry valerian and they carry vervain. They carry, believe it or not, sulfur powder. That's where I get my sulfur powder from. But that may be one place to look. I'm sure it's available also on Amazon. You can find it in capsule form at a lot of the pharmacies, such as Walgreens or CVS. But again, I will caution that before you start taking any sort of herbal remedy, make sure that you educate yourself very, very well on the interactions, not just between the herbs and some of the medications that you may be taking, but some of the over-counter medications you may not even think about that you just take every now and then, and also with any other herbs that you may be using. So make sure that you really research that very well and talk about it with your doctor or your naturopath before you start infusing anything like that. Stick to using it in sachets and spell work and in incenses, and you will probably be much safer. Thank you so much for watching the Herb Cabinet series here at the Purple Broom Apothecary Presents. We hope that you enjoyed this video, and we look forward to seeing you again. Blessed be.